Welcome back, folks, to the Unshakable Soul podcast. We're on episode 93. My name is Sophia Masikat. I'm your host here, and I am privileged to be in the presence of Natasha. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Natasha is a Reiki and Spinal Energetics master practitioner and a manifestation mentor and death doula. And we're gonna, I know it's the mouthful, but I'm so excited to dive into all of these titles, let's say, that you have, but more specifically to the story that you have to share about your own experience and how each of these modalities you now house as your gifts has benefited not only you, but the people that come to you for support and guidance. So, right off the bat, just breaking the ice with if you want to share a little bit about you, what brought you into this field, into this space?
The way I dove into all of this energy healing and this woo-woo side of things is, Reiki found me. I was working like constantly. I hated my life. I had no existence outside of being an employee and going job to job to job. When I found Reiki, I was away at a retreat, and this woman, she was like, "Yeah, if you want, you can get your Reiki certification, and we'll do a couple sessions and all this." And I was like, "That sounds really wonderful." Went through my first Reiki session, and I've never felt more heard, seen, felt in my entire life. And not every session is one of those big blow up, highly impactful feelings. But a lot of them do have that intensity to them. It just changed my whole life. It was like, oh, you can do this kind of thing and like make people feel this good. Like, why am I showing up at a job every day that doesn't make me feel good or anybody feel good really? And it was that there was a realization of that major disconnect that I had in my life, and from that point I just flew with it. Started with Reiki, and then it all expanded after that. Um I can't say enough about energy healing, about the magic and how it shifted things for me. It's really opened up an opportunity for me to dive into what I want to do and learn how to share it out with the world and have other people feel the same way that I felt. And that's really where the magic is. Yeah. Yeah. So it was a random session one day, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm drawn into that," and pulled me there, and everything has expanded from that point. Hmm. Yeah.
Lovely. I want to take a little bit of what you were mentioning and maybe go a little bit deeper. You mentioned something about when you were in that Reiki session, it was the first time that you felt seen and heard and understood. I'm paraphrasing here,
Hmm.
but this is really, really important, I find, as a lot of us, men and women, find it difficult to actually feel seen and heard and understood for who we are and our authentic self. So, where can you see this kind of shift? How did you see that shift go about for you from Natasha before that Reiki healing session to the Natasha now that's learned to get more comfortable, perhaps, with sharing her gifts and her sharing her authentic self to the world?
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a long journey. Like, we're 2026 now, and I started 2016. So I'm like, well, 10 years. Okay. So just even just that realization alone. Um, so I found whenever I went to the first session, like the woman who did things for me, and she ended up taking me through all the way to Reiki Master just because I had such a deep connection with her. But it was that she recognized things that I was feeling within myself, and she put language to it. She put words to it. She's like, this is coming up and this feeling is happening, and all of these different feelings that she was feeling, that I was like, okay, how is she feeling exactly what I'm feeling, and is able to explain it and to, give me suggestions on how to do it. And she's also had the faith in me that I could also do it. And that was the first time that
Mm.
somebody really actually genuinely had that faith in me, I think. Like she was my teacher. I took her through like years, and her and I still connect and talk whenever there's certain things that come up during sessions where I'm like, hey, like I don't recognize this, or this energy is coming up, or these emotions are coming up related to Reiki. Yeah, and it took me from like a shell of a human being into like this magical version of myself that I still almost don't even recognize, because I still feel like I'm sometimes back in those phases where, I am that girl from the past where I'm walking into my first session, and now I'm over here like, witnessing people walk into their first sessions and being the person who's speaking this language and talking to them and holding space for them while they naturally walk through their own path. Um, yeah, it was just one of those things that I really, I don't like the language to it. It's so hard to describe, but I don't know how I could have gotten here without Reiki, if that makes
Mm.
any sense. That it just, yeah, it shifted everything. It gave me a language, but it also gave me faith in myself that I never had before from anybody. Gave me
Mm.
connection, opened up my whole world, because there's like, as soon as you say Reiki, there's a ton of other people who are like, oh yeah, I've got my level one, or I've done this and I've done that, and how it's impacted them. It's really, yeah, yeah, shifted absolutely everything, but really gave me that language, and that it was that opening door, really, that was like, okay, I can do this, and this is how. This is the way. And when I
Mm.
started it, I didn't know where it was going or how I was going to expand into this person, but I'm like here, I'm like, holy moly. Like we've made it here, we're doing all of this, and I still like I'm doing it, but I still don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know where we're going, and it's that excitement phase. But I think really it was to answer the question, really, it came out of taking me from that, like knowing that I had to, or I had the option to move into an existence that made more sense to me. One
Yeah.
session, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Oftentimes that's all it takes. Oftentimes it's, it comes in that experience that you had, but then sometimes we realize there were breadcrumbs all along, right? And that moment just kind of solidified, like, okay, like enough is enough. Like this calling is now loud enough, or that sealed the bow so that I can actually start maybe living a life that feels more aligned and alive and authentic
mm,
to me
yeah,
versus whatever we were doing or thinking was what we should be doing before, right? I want to take a few steps back, and for those that have no fucking idea what Reiki is, or maybe they've obviously probably heard the word, I'm like, maybe we should bring it back to ground level. And in a few words, like to you, what is Reiki, and what what benefits have you experienced and your clients have experienced, and what you've the patterns you've seen in the past 10 years, so that people can get a sense of what the potency of this practice is all about.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Reiki, like it goes back thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, depending on your beliefs and all that, how far we go and all of that. It's been part of humans sharing their gifts and their energy throughout time. It's a hands-on healing technique that looks at your chakras, that looks at the balance and the way just things are moving and flowing through your body. It's one of those things too that like everybody has the capacity to do Reiki, which is what I love, is that, everyone has the access to it. It's not like there's these certain people that can do it or like we all have the ability to do this. So it's an energy healing technique. It's a laying of hands on the body. You can do it with your hands placed on the body or hovering on the body or even distance Reiki, because the energy transfer is not confined to space or time, which is really, it's a cool thing. So you can, send energy to events in the future. You can send energy to events in the past where it's like you're sending a little bit more love to it. And it's to me it's like it's so simple where like that's what it is. It's love energy. It's
Mm.
putting love into people, sharing your love and just sharing what you have to give. And honestly, anybody who's doing the Reiki should be pouring from a full cup, so whenever you're
Mm.
receiving that, like that the patient, the client, the person on the table can feel that. They can feel that. Um, yeah, it can be simple and it can be complicated. And I go with the simple route each time, but it's a laying of hands technique that shares energy between humans, between events, between time and space that it's pretty woo-woo. It's pretty woo-woo. But it's also very accepted, which is really nice in this time of life because, there's phases and times where people were not able to practice this kind of stuff or talk
Mm,
about this kind of thing. And now, like, we are getting the language for it. We are understanding, the non-understandable, which is
mm.
really a little bit of what it is. It's the unknown, you know? Pardon me. Throat stuff comes up as well. I'm working on a lot of my throat chakra right now. So, in session you'll have those like little tickles in your throats or you'll feel your belly grumbling kind of thing. And it's that energy that's moving in your body. Stuff that was stuck in my throat is now able to get out because I'm able to communicate certain things, right? To share. And that's what Reiki does for you, is that it'll energetically realign you so that you can speak, so that you can move differently, so that you are nicer to yourself, and it comes back to that love piece. If you have more love within you, you have more love to share, more love to give, and your practitioner is really just pouring the love into you so that you can care more, do more, and share more of that light with the world. Yeah. A lot of us are
Yeah,
sitting in the darkness, and that's the hardest part.
yeah. No, I love that. And just the remembrance of mm, of the healing power of our hands, of
Mhm.
our thoughts, of our intention, of the energy that you're pouring in through your hands from your heart. Like this is really, as you mentioned, everybody has access to this with practice. Um, and it also goes to show, as you were mentioning, with the acceptability of Reiki and energy medicine nowadays, how much demand it's in, how
Mhm.
much people are actually craving, especially after COVID,
Yeah.
touch. I know you don't need touch for Reiki for energy healing, but I've experienced and have observed that a lot of people are craving this type of connection and love and nourishment that perhaps they didn't realize they needed. And I'll bring it back to that word love, as you mentioned too. And, you know, it's hard when you realize how cold either you've become, your relationships, or just life if you look at the news too much.
Mhm.
And it's easy to stay in this, you know, use the chakra system into those like lower energy centers, distorted expressions of them. So the fear, guilt, and shame, and not actually allowing ourselves to experience love. Like that's the
Mhm.
hardest part, I think, for any empath or sensitive soul that really wants to live with an open heart.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, you want to say something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, that's the thing is, back in the day when I first started at my first session, I definitely didn't love myself. I definitely didn't, care much about my existence or my life at all, really. And like that was, you hit the nail on
Mm,
the head. That was the major shift, was that I was given a little bit of love and, a little bit of light. And like that's just the thing, is like there's so much darkness and there's so much hate out there that we're really just shifting into that love vibration where you're able to see yourself, care for yourself on a deeper level. And the more that we do for ourselves, the more that we're capable to share out there in the world, the more that it radiates off of you. Like you don't even have to do anything at some point. And I call it like almost like a little like stink ring around people, that it radiates off. And it's like it's that love ring. And then you walk near people and they feel it. And you can just walk into a room and people are like wanting to get to know you and wanting to feel a little bit of your energy because you're a magnet because you love everything so much and you're just there for the experience of life without expectations. And it really it shifts a lot on the inside so that the outside has the capacity to change for you too. Hmm.
Yes, and I will add there that you also become a magnet for leeches and vampires.
Hmm.
This
Hmm.
is something that we often don't look at when it like
Yeah.
I'll bring in the darkness if I may, because
Hmm.
because I'm all about inner alchemy and I'm like come into the shadows and
Yeah.
it's not all love and light. But yeah,
Yep.
when you start radiating love and you love yourself and you accept yourself, you will start actually repelling people that maybe used to take advantage of you,
Yep.
but you also be attracting people that want to take advantage of you or that want to leech from your light, that want to become dependent on your light. And some may see it as, oh my gosh, that's so nice. But I think that's why we have to exert and have a lot of discernment on who actually deserves our energy and our time. And I know deserving is a very strong word here, but I'm going to use it
Yep.
because far too often do we actually give to places and people and projects that actually don't deserve energy. And sometimes we give from a place of the savior complex. We want to heal so much because we've gone through our own experience. So we're like, here, here. And then we think that, through us, they will heal. But actually, if they're just looking for a quick fix or just trying to always get our light, and not actually doing the work,
Yep.
which for me is the very grounded, practical, daily devotional rituals that you have to reconnect yourself when you forget to love, then you're a leech.
Hmm. Hmm. And that's something that it really does shift when you start doing energy healing because you start treating yourself differently and then accepting different treatment. So when the treatment comes in that matches the old energy vibration that you used to accept, that you used to hold, it no longer makes sense after you have changed, after you've done that inner work, after you've taken that step. So you will repel that energy. But the other people that may have not done that step or are moving differently, they're going to feel that like that push away and they may not like it. And it does cause some tension in the air, but at the same time, because you are doing that work and it's a daily devotion, as you were saying, but it's that daily work to recognize who is phasing out of your life and then who's going to phase in as you open up and start being able to receive a little bit more of that love, you start to match people who also love themselves on that level, who care about themselves. You start having different conversations about different things in life because your focus is no longer on keeping yourself small. It's, how can I dive in and learn about myself even more? And that affects everything and everyone around you.
Yeah. And from my experience, you start actually surrounding yourself with people that inspire you and perhaps that challenge you onto your threshold a little bit, onto your growth edge, versus staying with the same people, perhaps that you know, repeat the same toxic patterns, gossip, blah blah blah, all the things that you're like, well, this is what I know, so this is who I am unconsciously, right?
Hmm.
So yeah.
Hmm.
No, it's
Yep.
beautiful.
Yeah. It does get to be beautiful. It can be a little bit like it can make you feel a little bit alone because you're moving from where you were to where you're going. But that's the thing is like whenever you step into that like love frequency where those more love people are there and you're just like, okay, this existed. And there's friends that, you don't have to look over your shoulder and wonder, if they're talking about you. And if they're talking about you over here, they're, screaming your name in a room full of people that like need to know you and would benefit from being around you. And it's just the way it magnifies and just increases as you go up there. And like, it's incredible. It's incredible. And like, that's the thing is like, it's energy healing in any form, any capacity. Because it's not just doing Reiki or just doing one thing. It's finding those, people around you that really match that frequency that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to bring back again. Energy healing. Let's like fucking extrapolate that for a moment because again, I love to extrapolate and dissect all these words that are getting thrown around a lot.
Mm,
And energy, let's remember it's everything, right? Energy is your thoughts. It's the information you're taking in. It's the words you speak, the spells coming out of your mouth, right? It's your breath. It's your vitality. It's the food you take in. So what you're mentioning in terms of like what people may think as Reiki of like I don't know about the humming, but like my
no, it's
hands are
there.
hovering.
Yep.
It's literally like you are practicing any energy medicine unconsciously throughout every day. You get to make that conscious,
Hmm.
right? The people, oh fuck.
Yep.
Live demonstration, my light just went. So you literally get to practice this every day by the choices you make and by the consciousness you have. How present am I with my
Mhm.
food? For example, I'm using food because it's such a big
Yeah.
thing that is a part of our life and something that for a lot of us unconscious, unfortunately, and we just do because, we need to,
Yep.
right? Same thing for the energy exchange you have with others. How often are we thinking about other things while you're with others and not actually being present and actually listening with your heart? That's why everybody feels misunderstood because nobody's fucking here and present and
Yeah.
listening.
Yep. Yeah. And like that's the huge piece too, is like when you come to the Reiki table, you're gonna come there and it's quiet. It's a disconnect. It's a step outside of everything where you're left to listen to your thoughts and you're not there on your phone, you're not having emails pop in or responsibilities, you're just there. And
Mm,
you get the tools on the table to navigate out in real life, right?
mm,
Like the work, like yes, you go for your session and that feels incredible. But whenever you go out and you leave, like that's when the work really starts, you know? And I say that
mm,
there's like it's like two paths often where you'll be, in real time and you have a choice to make a decision and you'll make the decision with the old you, the programming that is running subconsciously, or you are very aware in that moment where you're like, okay, I can make a different decision right now that is going to change the trajectory of my life. And it's often like those small, subtle little changes that all add up. But it's like if you're gonna go and, go and eat fast food or anything like that versus going home and preparing a meal for yourself. I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but like when you're consciously making the choice of like, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get fast food tonight because it's easy, I don't have to cook, I can handle all of that, and versus like, okay, I'm going to go home and cook for myself and do all of that. It's the energy that you put into what you're doing, and you're consciously able to put better energy. And like I say better, like better can be whatever better is to you. But there's an
mm.
honest, conscious choice of what you're doing with your meals, with your actions, with your friends, with your job, with your environment, all of it. That comes from just being aware. And that awareness really does show up from energy healing, from just going to session and being quiet with yourself and seeing what bottles up or bubbles up from within instead of what's being input into you all the time.
Yeah, I love that. Just a reminder of the session itself can hold aha moments, but the real work comes when there's the integrative component in your everyday life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to shift the conversation to spinal energetics and death doula. What the fuck is spinal energetics and death doula?
Yeah, yeah.
I love it.
I wear
Please
so many
share.
hats. People are like, what
I
do you do?
know.
I'm like, too many things. Like, what do you want? Like, what are you looking for? Like,
Here's the menu. Take your pick.
yeah. Yeah, honestly, but like that's the thing, like it starts and Reiki's often the door in for people, and then you divide from there and conquer. And there's so many people who have all these different tools that are just incredible. And like my tools are spinal energetics and death doula. So you can start with spinal energetics. It's very similar to Reiki, except instead of looking at the chakras and how they're flowing, it looks at the trauma that's being held in your spine. So as you've gone through life, as you've navigated things, as you were in the womb, it's not only just yourself, it's lineage as well. So
Mm.
it's things that your like mother, your grandmother, your father, all of this, everything that passed down to you. And what I'm seeing a lot right now as well is like the trauma that we're navigating through, it's not even our own because we haven't handled the previous trauma. So a lot of people are handling the lineage stuff, the things for their parents, the things for their grandparents, like all of it is coming out now through them because we are like the women who are here right now doing this work are like oftentimes the freest person in their entire lineage. Like we're the ones who are able to speak out loud, to talk about this stuff, to be witches, to, open up and just share our opinion without being burned or, taken out for our energy practices, really. So a lot of the times the trauma that we're going through is multi-generational trauma. And when you come into the session, like you'll notice too that it works. And when I was talking about that radius around you, it works not only on you, but on like the people around you because they will feel the change that's happened within you. It's really powerful. You're just laying on the table. I say just laying on the table very gently because it's so much more than that. And what drew me into the spinal energetics was the physical representation of the energy that's being moved. So when you're on the table, you may have your hands flick, shoulders might shift, butt cheeks will squeeze, feet will shift. You'll have little like twitches in your body kind of thing. So you can watch the energy as it's actually moving throughout your system. It's an incredibly beautiful session. And like with that too, you'll see if you Google spinal energetics, you have people that are moving on the table and almost it's almost like a dance kind of thing with the energy. As a level one practitioner myself, like I've had that happen very rarely. But I do have a lot of like little movements and all of that kind of thing. So it's not so intimidating. It is softer, but more intense than Reiki would be. I do notice people after their session, they'll have maybe a little bit of dizziness, maybe their stomach feels a little bit nauseous kind of thing, but just the energy recalibrating and coming back down. But yeah, spinal energetics goes a little bit deeper than Reiki and it looks at, yeah, a little bit more and a little bit more intensity as well. Another beautiful session kind of thing. And I find with my practice that when you come to the table, it's a combination of Reiki and spinal energetics because Reiki is the softness, spinal energetics is the intensity, and the balance of the two of them I find is just beautiful for where we're at right now. So yeah, yeah. So that's spinal energetics and all on that side. So it's basically like Reiki, but more intense, more intense. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And maybe more somatic,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's for a lot of people that, sometimes energy medicine, like it's very like kind of like what's going on? There's no tangibleness in this experience. There's a lot of trust, right, in the
Yeah.
energy's own intelligence. But maybe adding that spinal energetics, I don't want to say confirms to people, oh, there's something working, but you can literally start seeing, oh, this actually exists. This
Yeah.
energy exists through this movement that I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because with spinal energetics, it's like Reiki. Like you don't even have to be touching people and they will be moving on the table.
Mm,
So there is, and that's the thing, like there is a magic component to it that I really love as this person who is really into the unknowns of the world. Like I don't know how it's going to connect. I don't know how your energy is going to move today. I'm just going with what your body is telling me and where my energy is telling me to navigate,
mhm.
to move, to go. It's as you're
Yeah.
saying, it's a beautiful dance between, giver and receiver. And like I love that as well too, because like with the Reiki and spinal energetics is like you give and you get. And it goes and it comes and it's not a selfish thing, but it's a I get like we get to receive together, you know? Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And then
And
oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna ask about the death doula component. How does that kind of bring this all in a beautiful package?
Hmm. Yeah. I was going to say the exact same thing. We're on the same path. I love it. Yeah. With death doula, and I 10 out of 10 recommend taking a death doula course if you're drawn into it at all. We're all going to go through loss in many capacities, and it's not just like death of a human. It's, loss of pets, lots of relationships, jobs, homes, like all of it comes into play, and it's an incredible field, incredible topic to be able to discuss because it's still quite taboo. I'm at my death doula her house right now. I'm dog sitting and cat sitting for her. I do this like every year. We've connected so well, which is, a beautiful way to see how this work really does transition into your life. It shows you how to navigate loss in a way that not that it doesn't take you down, but you have a different acceptance of the fact that everything in life is temporary. The good, the bad, the life, the excitement, the hurt, all of it is, it's so small. And some of the small is like this, and it's like this, and it's like that, But yeah, every phase of life is very, very beautiful and very short whenever you look back at all the,
Mm.
phases of your life that you have navigated in and out of. It, yeah, it opens up conversation, and like I talk about death all the time, all the time. Like it's like I'm that weird girl that talks about death, but at the same time, so many people open up to me now just because it's like an open venue to discuss pain, to discuss that like heartbreak feeling that comes with loss, to really just figure out how to navigate life after loss and even during, like we're preparing to lose one of our dogs right now, and it's just like the pre-loss of it, it it helps with the whole process, and like the work that I do as well too, it works with the preparation for loss, the actual loss with the human, with the dog, with anything, and then the people afterwards, we also work with them so that we do conversation, energy healing as well to just navigate everything, like the emotions and the feelings that come up with loss. Um, but yeah, it really opens a door to support people, to understand, and to grow too. Because I mean, I'm gonna die at one point. So are you. So is everybody that we know and everything that we're looking at. Like, and it's just knowing that that's the reality one day. And I'm not gonna ignore the fact that that's gonna happen. And then one day be like, oh my gosh, this happened. It's like, no, we know this. Let's address it. Let's love. Let's
Mm.
enjoy more time. Let's be more present. And, like that's like when I look at everything that I do, like that's all that it is. It's just like love, be more present in the moment, enjoy what you have in front of you, love being in every phase, in every season, and, see the benefits out of it and the growth. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. And I think this is a really important topic that deserves a separate conversation in itself. Many. Um, and of course, the physical experience of grieving.
Yeah.
And I love that you reminded people and you're reminding the listeners that we actually go through death many times during our lives, and that it's not only the what we think of and see death as, like our loved ones are gone, like death of the body.
Mhm.
We forget that we grieve consciously or unconsciously the death of an identity,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
The death of the person you thought you were, the image you had in the world is getting shattered. Holy fuck. When you travel, for me, there's always a period of grieving when I
Yep.
leave Ottawa and when I come back,
Mm.
right? It's the reintegration and the departure because ultimately something shifted during that experience. I'm using travel and experience, but you can also use a relationship as an experience, right? a career change. And you can even use the nighttime and daytime,
Yeah.
honoring life and death and making a natural part of your day and of the seasons and in nature, and remembering that nature is constantly in her cyclical wisdom, regenerating herself, going through this cycle of death, birth, and transformation, I think really helps us make peace with this 3D reality and life we have to live on Earth. Now, doesn't mean we have to go quickly to our deathbeds, be like, I'm going to die anyways, like YOLO and be all reckless. It's like, no, I think there's a deeper reverence that comes about an honoring of this conscious lifetime we get to live. I
Mhm.
know I had past lives, but I don't fucking remember them.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm fully conscious and I'd love to live alive and awake in this lifetime, however the fuck I long I have. And I think the way I experience grief, and we could feel into maybe your experience, and listeners have your own reflection on this. It's whenever you've experienced loss, because it's inevitable, it's part of the human experience in your life. What has that evoked in you? And generally, it brings about this a deeper, yeah, reverence of life
Mhm.
and appreciation of what you do have and what you had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Loss has taught me, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to this, but loss teaches me more. It's almost, I want to say, the biggest teacher out there. Because that's the thing is like you choose how you navigate through it, how you show up afterwards, and there's no rhyme or reason or length of time that you need to be there to deal with it, to process, to integrate. Um, but the beauty of, as you were saying, to recognize the life that comes through loss,
Mm.
the connections, the conversations, the people that are brought back together through departure is it's beautiful, and when you see it with that perspective and you hold that and you know that, like, I mean, from my perspective anyways, that I know that all these things that I've loved in this life will be waiting for me and will be showing up on the other side of whatever the other side of this is, which, like, is again one of those unknown magical pieces of this existence. And like, yes, you'll miss certain things and you'll miss these people and your identity and who you were, but like who you get to be because of it, that's where the magic is. And keeping people's memories alive and loved, but also allowing them to navigate on their journey as well. And that's I think a piece where, yeah, people often want to hang on a little bit longer whenever it's like that soul is ready to go, So yeah, like as you said, like this is like a huge conversation that like just flows from one side to the next where, yeah, like I just, but it all comes back to that love piece. We hang on because we love them. We don't want to let them go because we love them. We love that life. We love that phase. And, how do you love something so much and then expect something else to come and
Mm.
fill that gap? It's not going to, And there's an acceptance of the fact that you got to like experience that love and that like just that piece of it, And yes, it's over, but that doesn't mean that you can't have it anymore or that it won't show up for you in other ways, in other places, Like even just loss, like I feel like through loss, like the sun feels different, the wind feels different. Like this just
Yeah.
that transmutation of the energy that just, yeah, it's
Mhm.
special. It's incredible. And ugh, I love
Mhm.
loss as much as I love life.
Yeah. This is a very important key that you just mentioned. Like, again, the deep appreciation that can only be experienced through loss of life.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's the cards we were dealt as humans. It's like, hey, you're gonna experience fucking duality. You're gonna
Yeah.
experience the highs and the lows and have fun, but don't get caught in the illusion.
Hmm.
Don't get caught in the illusion that there's the loss is the end of the world, and we're brought up in this supernatural world for some reason where we're all coddled and protected as kids, being like, no, no, death is only in the animal kingdom and we're not part of that. What the fuck? This separation, but we are part of this world. And the more we accept this cyclical wisdom, the more we take off our rose colored glasses and we're like, oh, and we hold the raw humanness. That's
Hmm.
part of what I see as the human divinity within each one of us. It's you're holding this sensitivity, this fragility, and as well as the potentiality of actually living fully alive. And I'll share here, that is for you to define. What does living fully alive actually look and feel like for you?
Hmm. Hmm. And it's really like through loss and death, like a lot of humans really do find that lesson and shift and create more value for themselves, right? And like that's the goal. Like we're all here on journeys to find out how we like to live, how you like to do it, and how, I like to do it is different the way you do than that person over there or that person over there. Like everyone likes to do it differently, and it's just finding the making the time for yourself to do it. And like that's something like loss like really like not like turns it up for people, but it'll shake them up a little bit where it's like, okay, like I need to take the time that I have and use it because again, we are very temporary. Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a perfect way to end and segue into all the beautiful offerings that you have to share and that we are co-creating together.
Oh, I can't. I can't wait. Like this is the beginning of something as well because we've just started and that's the thing we've both been doing this for like I know I've been going since 2020 and you've been going for 5 years at least as well, but it was that
Mhm.
frequency match that we had a few months ago that brought us together and it was like, yeah, girls create, like create. So, yeah.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes.
Hmm.
Do you want to speak to it, or let's
Yeah.
speak to it? Let's speak to
Yeah.
it a little bit, and then I'll share the floor for you. I'll open it for you to share how people can find you. But yeah, Natasha and I are co-facilitating a women's retreat called She Who Returns in Braeside, Ontario, in Canada, September 19th. So it's a full day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And it's a beautiful segue from this topic of death because we're going to be transitioning seasons at that point. So the day after it will be the fall equinox. And that's inviting in the fall season and the shedding, the release that comes with it. And also a coming home, a stripping away of maybe these things that we've accumulated during the summer. A lot of experiences for a lot of us. There's a lot of things going on, but we're slowly coming back to a rhythm that is sustainable, that is nourishing. And with that shedding comes a release, comes some form of letting go and of death so that we can actually be able to rest and be present and enjoy the winter month and the for the northern hemisphere a bit harsher period of the year. So yeah, this is going to be a a co-creation, and for now there's going to be just a beautiful weaving of our own gifts. So Natasha will be offering a spinal energetics group session, Reiki, as well in the afternoon, and I'll be sharing a workshop on cyclical wisdom, archetypal embodiment in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I can't wait. That's going to be such a beautiful and impactful day. And as you said, it's at the turn of seasons where we're all coming back into ourselves, returning back home, preparing to live a little bit more indoors, live a little bit more in here, live a little bit more without the sunshine, without the go, go, go that the summer does bring, and coming back to ourselves, making sure it's a beautiful home in here. Where we're soft, we're going through the knowledge
Mm,
in the morning and the processing in the afternoon is yeah, it's going to be an incredible, it's a full day from 8 in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. So sunrise to sunset, a full 12-hour period just outside of your routine, outside of your normal existence, outside of where most people hang out all day. Like we're going to the Dome in Brayside, and even that place, like that space, it like you come there, you walk through this little forest portal and you're in a whole other world. So it's not only, the people, but the energy, it's the space. And, we're already cultivating that. We're already preparing for that. So you'll feel it when you walk, when you drive onto the property, really. Like you'll feel the shift starting to happen. And yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful day.
yeah. And I'll just add another thing. We're going to be going through eclipse season. I always love to add astrology as a supporting aspect to the energy that we're collectively moving through. Eclipse season is in August this year. So this is beautifully timed as an integration for whatever came up for us. Usually eclipse seasons bring about sudden changes in maybe the course of where you thought you were going, your life direction. Things are coming from left field, which either you're approaching and receiving as yay or as, and it doesn't matter. That's a process, that's a threshold, it's a transition phase. So, coming together in this nourishing space, we're co creating and allowing things to settle and land in your body and to process maybe some of what has happened from the past months is super, super important. Mhm. Yeah. So, early bird for anybody that feels already this yes coming through, I'm there. It's until August 13th, August 14th, 13th.
We're flexible.
And we're flexible. We're flexible. 13, 14. We'll have the link in the description and as well for Natasha's offerings and your Instagram. Where can people find you?
Hey, yeah. So I'm Nat Energy Healer on all of the socials, Nat Energy Healer at gmail.com, natenergyhealer.com. Everything is quite simple there. I do one-on-one sessions. I offer like duo sessions as well. So if you want to come with a friend or a partner. And then we do tons of group healings. We'll do collabs with sound healers and all of that around town. That's beautiful just for all of the energy work and everything there. So yeah. Yeah.
And your location is?
Yeah. So I'm in Brayside, but I operate out of Renfrew and Carp. I basically go all over the 613. So I'm like location bound, but not really, you know? So,
Nice.
yeah, it's one of those beautiful flexibilities of this gift and Reiki. So I'm blessed. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Hmm. Oh,
Thank you for being here. Oh, this is
you
such a
got it.
nourishing.
This was
I
great.
love
This was so
this.
good.
So good. And we'll probably have more to come. We'll probably do an Instagram live together at some point soon. And I'm definitely coming in for a spinal energetic session with you.
Can't wait. Can't wait to see how it's gonna go with you. Can't wait to see the integration. I honestly, I
Yeah.
just can't wait to chat after.